A disabled man killed at a state-run facility. His family outraged, saying that the state failed to protect their loved one from the violent man charged with the death. But Fox Undercover's Mike Beaudet discovered the state is not admitting it did anything wrong.
It seems hard to believe the attack happened under the watch of state workers who are supposed to keep these people safe. Yet the state says they did nothing wrong, and that has the victim's family believing the state is putting the disabled in danger.
People just loved him. He was like a magnet for people, especially the children in the family were always around him. He was always happy. He was always in a good mood, always happy to see people, and to have him go that violently with nobody in his family around him is just a shattering image to have.
A violent death for a gentle man. Dennis Perry was killed a year ago September at the Templeton Developmental Center, a state-run facility for the developmentally disabled. He'd lived there for decades and only recently moved to a new group home, but he still worked at the barn on Templeton's campus, and that's where it happened.
I got a phone call from my brother Billy saying that Dennis was in an accident. It was pretty bad to get up to the hospital.
David Perry is Dennis's brother. It wasn't until some 2 weeks later the family learned it was no accident. By then, they had already taken Dennis off life support. They read about an arrest in the newspaper.
It wasn't until after he died that we found out that he was actually shoved into a boiler, and he hit his head on the boiler.
When you heard someone had been arrested, what did you think?
I couldn't believe that nobody had gotten in contact with anybody in the family to let us know that somebody had been arrested and arraigned.
That somebody was Anthony Remillard, and the more the family learned about what happened, the angrier they became. Like Perry, Remillard is developmentally disabled, but unlike Perry, Remillard has a violent past. Psychiatric records show he suffers from explosive anger. That explosive anger contributing to 11 arraignments by the age of 20, including 7 assault charges, some involving a bat and a knife. The charges were dropped, but it was a new arrest in 2012 that sent him to Templeton, this one on charges of arson and breaking and entering. He lived at the Templeton Developmental Center while awaiting trial and worked at the same barn as Dennis Perry.
There was literally a fatal decision made to allow Anthony Remillard into Templeton Developmental Center.
A fatal decision that, according to Perry family attorney Tom Frayne, the state is not taking responsibility for. The State Department of Developmental Services runs Templeton. The same agency investigated the death and cleared the staff of wrongdoing. An investigation did not find any evidence that the employees on site violated any policy or failed to act, and no employee has been accused of criminal wrongdoing.
I think they're trying to get out of liability. A man is dead for no reason. He died violently, and this is a human rights travesty at the hands of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and they're trying to wash their hands of it.
The state has also taken steps to protect itself from liability. MassHealth filed a $3 million lien on Dennis Perry's estate, the cost of caring for him. So if the family sues and wins an award for the state's negligence, the state could then take back at least some of the money.
We're not going to be deterred. So we want answers to why this happened to my brother.
Paula Perry is Dennis's sister. Seems like adding insult to injury.
Well, it is, but my brother was murdered. He deserved to be in a safe place. It was his civil right to be in a safe place, and it was the state's responsibility to keep him safe.
And you believe they failed that responsibility?
Oh, he's dead. They absolutely failed. He's dead.
As we said, no admission of failure from the State Department of Developmental Services, though officials do add this was clearly a tragic situation, and our thoughts go out to the family of the victim. The department takes its responsibility to protect our clients seriously, and safety is always a top priority. As for that lien, the department says state and federal law often requires them, but notes that only damages for pain and suffering would be subject to recovery. Do you have an idea for the next Fox Undercover investigation? Call us, 1-800-TV-FOX25. I'm Mike Beaudet for Fox Undercover.